Live. Seven to a special Tuesday episode of the show. Welcome wherever you are. Today's show is a little bit different, and I'm excited about that. Not only is this guest a world traveler, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a firefighter, and a self-proclaimed international entertainer. But to me, he's also a super good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth. He dressed up for everybody too, which is awesome. Thank you for really classying up the joint. Mr. Chad Camp, how are you?
This old thing, I just dug it out of the back of the closet.
Let me just prep the people that are watching. If you're a normal watcher of the show, I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're relaxed. I hope maybe it was a long day at work and you need a good laugh, because I'm telling you right now, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry, right, Chad? Is that pretty much how it works?
Well, I've already tried to convince myself that I'm not going to cry, but we all know how that ends up working out.
So. I know you too well. There will be tears. There will be tears. But no, listen, buddy. I can't thank you enough for doing this. I'm so excited. I always start these shows off the same way. I kind of let the guests introduce themselves. So if you don't mind, man, we only have an hour. That's what kills me. We only have an hour. We got to get this done and over in just an hour. But if you don't mind, summarize your upbringing, where your family is originally from, where you grew up, where you are now, all that fun stuff for the people that are watching. Oh, by the way, I dressed up for you too. I gave you the Boise State because we're both fans, and I purposely.
I thought this was a black tie event, but apparently my publicist got that information incorrect. So
missed the memo. Whatever. But you look good. Thank you. You classied up the joint, so I appreciate that. But yeah, go ahead, man. It's all you.
All right, so my family's originally from here in Utah. My mom was born here in Salt Lake City. My dad was born in Idaho, so that's where
good place to be born.
That's where I get my Idaho roots. BSU for life. What up?
Here, we'll get one of these.
So that's where my dad's from. But I was born and raised here in Salt Lake City. Started out in downtown Salt Lake, in the hood of Salt Lake. Before we get started, I do have to put a disclaimer on tonight's podcast here. None of the opinions which I express this evening are that of Salt Lake City Fire Department and or Disney Corporation. They are all my own personal opinions. Okay. Anyways, now back.
That's a first, by the way. No one's ever had to do a disclaimer, but I appreciate that. So go ahead, man.
That is what it is, right? All right. So, no, I lived up in Salt Lake City till I was about 6, and then we moved out to West Valley City. And that's where I grew up, was out in West Valley City. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, all of which are older than I am. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got. That's my whole...
That's all right.
Sorry, I don't have any Asian roots.
Oh, you do? Wait a minute. Whoa. We're going to get to that. You do have Asian roots, and we're going to talk about that in just a second.
Country or anything. I apologize. Sorry to bring down your cast here.
No. Because that's not exactly true. We're going to get to that in just a second. But I want to touch. You always start off with the first couple of questions are the same. Even a guy like you, what is your concept of home? Is it still West Valley? Is it still wherever, whatever? What's your concept of home?
I'll be West Side for life, my friend. West Side for life. No, West Valley was good to me. Like I said, I grew up in West Valley ever since I was 6. West Valley is all I knew. Don't get me wrong. When I lived in Salt Lake, I still have fond memories of Salt Lake. We had a great neighborhood when I lived in Salt Lake, but as far as what I consider home, West Valley will be my home. Yeah, I like it. That's where the roots are from.
So, well, I'm invading your home because that's where I live, brother. I'm here.
I know. About a mile. I was gonna say, what are you, like a block and a half away from where I grew up?
The funny thing is, not only that, but where I used to teach. I used to live in Cottonwood Heights, and people in Utah will understand this. Those that are watching won't, but I used to live about maybe what is it, like 12, 13 miles from here? Maybe.
Yeah.
I used to live there. Would come out here for work, and then go back. And now I actually live about a mile away from where I used to work. Which is about a mile away from where you grew up. So it's kind of... Yeah,
I will.
the worlds are all aligned. So
So my sister is indicating that I have German roots.
that's right.
Let's make that clear that my mom and her brother were first generation Americans. So her parents
Oh, wow.
parents were born in Germany and then
Really?
came over. So my mom and my brother or my uncle are first generation Americans. So.
Ah, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ich bin krank. That means I'm sick. That's all I learned in 2 years of German in high school. I'm sick. I'm sick.
Boy.
I'm sick.
Well, you already know the story with my wife. Her dad was born in Germany
Yeah.
and he came over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and the vocal obviously is definitely German. I'm more Irish than anything, as you know. But we'll get to all that. Can't wait.
I've heard
Awesome
that.
answers.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, it happens. Hey, the show is usually based on. You're right. You kind of stated it earlier. The show is usually based on folks that grew up outside their passport country, so to speak, or even those folks that maybe at some point in their life travel a lot or travel the world, things like that. There's no way around this. You and I have had some good times domestically here in the good old US of A. We have been to many places together.
We are, how shall I say, experts at chips and salsa and I believe Hooters.
Yes.
Yes. So not necessarily at the same time.
The restaurant, by the way.
But yeah. The restaurant. Yes. Let's clarify that.
Family operation there.
That's right.
But we've done some chips and salsa in many places, and I'll vouch for that. But here's the cool thing: I know you've been to Canada, our brothers to the north. That's technically international. Yeah,
correct.
You've also. This was one of the best times I have. I was living in Shanghai, and you came over and saw me, man. You did it. You hopped on an aeroplane.
It took me 2 attempts to get there, but by golly.
2 years and 2 attempts, you made it.
2 years and 2 attempts, but by golly, I made it. Can I tell the funny story about how the first time didn't work out?
Please do.
So the first time, I decided to go visit Ben over in the Shanghai. I decided to get on a plane. Obviously, I wasn't going to walk. Silly.
Swim. It's a long swim. Too.
So I got on a plane from here in Salt Lake, and I flew to Seattle. And I was flying standby, unfortunately. So that's big spender. Anyhow, so I fly to Seattle, and I'm waiting in Seattle, and the plane starts, getting boarded, and it keeps getting boarded, and my name is the only name on the standby list. And finally, the I don't want to say flight attendant, but the person at the gate, the customer service representative at the gate, said, all final boarding is done. If you have a seat on this plane, you need to be on it, basically. I'm paraphrasing. That's not really what she says because she didn't have that bad of English or grammar. But I said, wait a minute. The plane is full? And she says, no, the plane's not full. We're just departing. And I was like, okay, how come I didn't get a seat? It still shows, and it shows the available seats on the screen, right? And it still showed like 132 seats available on this flight, and I'm the only one that's flying standby. My name is the only name on the list. And I was like, I says, okay, I says, help me out here. I'm a little bit slow, but help me out. I says, there's 132 seats available, and I'm the only one that doesn't have a seat. I was like, maybe you can explain why I don't have a seat. And she says, well, sir, when we're flying international like this, we have a weight limit. And I didn't know whether to take that as an insult or I didn't know how to take that. I said, so in a small, quiet voice, I said, ma'am, are you telling me that if you stick my fat butt on that plane, we're going to crash into the ocean? And she goes, no, sir, I'd never say that. And I was like, well, you didn't have to really say it, but it's kind of implied, right? So, yeah, so the first time, that was a short story long. That's why I didn't make it the first time. But we made it the second time, my God.
We made it, and we lived it up.
13-hour flight never felt so good.
That's right. No, I was proud of you, man. I truly didn't think you were ever going to come over, and you made it. Perfect timing. Which leads me to my first real question then.
Oh, boy.
What surprised you the most about that China trip?
So me and Melissa discussed this earlier because I wanted to make sure.
Who's Melissa? Who's this Melissa person you speak of?
We'll talk about that individual.
Oh, okay, we'll get to that. Yeah.
We'll talk about other stuff. We were talking about this earlier, and I said, I got to be honest. I think the thing that surprised me the most about Shanghai was going to a Canadian bar on Cinco de Mayo in Asia.
Yeah. And getting what handed to you for free, basically.
Anything and well, I shouldn't say anything and everything. We're talking about
easy,
China, so
easy.
I better clarify that. It was pretty much all you could drink, and they had the best little finger foods. Like they had like little miniature tacos and all kinds of little Mexican food treats that were delightful.
So to paint a picture, here's an American.
Not to mention the endless margaritas.
Yeah. So here's an American guy from Utah at a Canadian bar in Shanghai eating Mexican food. Who would have thought,
celebrating
right?
Cinco de Mayo. Yep.
Yeah, you do the math on that one, but yeah, it all lined up. Yeah, you're celebrating.
So I would say that was probably the most interesting. But other than that, the other thing that I loved was when we went down, and I always say it wrong, when we went to the Bund.
The Bund.
Yeah,
Bund. B-U-N-D. Yeah.
Potato, whatever. That was amazing when we went down there that night and saw the riverfront and everything like that. That was incredible.
Everything lit up. Yeah, man. We had to. Rooftop bars and all that stuff, man. That was a good time.
Popcorn. Again, weird thing to do. Eating popcorn on a rooftop bar in Shanghai. Yeah, it was amazing. And
once in a lifetime.
I will throw in probably the third most amazing thing was obviously the experience of Shanghai Disneyland.
Well, yeah, you went every day you were there. So we'll get to your whole Disney passion.
By myself.
We'll get to your whole Disney. I don't want to even say passion. Addiction? Is that more of a? We'll get to that.
It's not.
The irony is you had been there. You got there before. I mean, I lived there for 2 years, and I never went to Disney in Shanghai. And you got there. That was your first.
I drugged you the night I got there to go down.
That's right. You made me show you how to get there on the subway.
Yeah, that's right.
We didn't even go in. You just wanted to know exactly how to get there, and boom, we were there. So, and I think you went at least 2 days in a row, maybe 3.
Yeah. Oh, I went every day I was there.
Hardcore. I love it. Listen. Okay. So no, that's awesome, man. And I know you've, like I said, you've been to Canada. You've done some things. You've traveled a little bit. I love that. But we're gonna kind of transition here. One thing you and I have always connected on. By the way, you and I have known each other. This is scary to say, but 15 years, is that real? That's insane.
I thought it was a little bit longer, but 15 years.
Maybe so.
We're
Something
old.
like that.
We're old.
You're old, man.
You're older than I am, technically. Remember this. Yeah.
By a month, literally almost to the day, like a month.
That's true.
But let's talk about sports. You mentioned it to me, and I already knew this because that's another way we bonded here. But we used to coach together. We're both baseball junkies. But let's talk your sports teams because I'm a guy who's not from Utah. I've always tried to figure this out, and I want your honest opinion here. Utah's a beautiful place, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But you're a guy who is from Utah, yet you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. You're an Anaheim. Are they still the Mighty Ducks, or are they just the Ducks?
Well, for those of us who are diehards, we just call them the Ducks.
We'll go Ducks, all right. You're also a Braves fan. You're so many different things in so many different places, yet you're based out of Utah. Let's talk your sports teams, man. How did that happen? How did you become a fan of each?
Let's start off with the baseball teams. So,
all right.
The baseball teams is I was always a Braves fan, and I'm still a Braves fan. That range.
But growing up, they were horrible. How did that happen?
Yeah, trust me, I know this. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You don't have to keep reminding me of the horrid.
Sorry,
anyway,
I'm a Cubs fan, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, I became a Braves fan because probably my hero growing up played on the Braves by a guy named Del Murphy. Not many people know him. Apparently, the people at the Hall of Fame don't even know him.
Yeah.
So
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he was my idol growing up. Played the Braves, so that's why the Braves were my team. Probably about it was about the time he retired. I realized I needed to find a different team. So now I thought I'd just go right next door from the hockey team I like, and now I'm an Angels fan. So I've been an Angels fan for probably, I don't know, it's been 20 years.
Is there any Disney connection there?
Well, Disney at one point owned both teams, so yeah. So yeah, you smarty pants, you.
Well, we're gonna thank you for clarifying that, because what about the Steelers though? We can't do that. We can't do just.
I gotta be honest. I don't know where the Steelers came from, other than I remember when I was really small, them having the steel curtain.
Yeah.
And I thought those guys were the meanest, ugliest dudes ever. But you know what? Those guys were awesome. And I think that's kind of where it stemmed from. I've always been a Steelers fan. Always. That's never changed.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because most people in Utah are either Denver Broncos fans or Seattle Seahawks fans. There's no in between. And then out of nowhere, there's a couple Steelers fans. So.
I like to live on the edge, Ben. I like to just make things unreal.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So, I don't know where it stands from other than that. When I was young, I just remember those guys used to scare me, so I thought I'd make them my friends rather than my enemies. So that's why they're my team.
Well played. Well played. I don't know if you can see it, but you are lighting up the comment line here. My brother from another.
Is it good or bad?
Can you see it? Look down. Look down below there.
I can't see anything.
Really? Can't see Bob's?
I'm going to be honest, bro. I am the most non-tech savvy guy there is.
There's nothing on your screen if you look down?
Well, I see a big header that my buddy Bob...
that's it.
That's in the honor guard. But I just see one. I don't see everybody's.
No. You're only getting one, because here's a little secret. Don't tell anybody, because I don't want anybody to realize this. I actually have control of what gets on here. So yeah, there's some.
You're like an all-powerful wizard.
Yeah, your sister's been chiming in. There's a bunch of I think your fire buddies that have been chiming in. That's awesome. Which actually is perfect segue. I want to talk. I mean, obviously, I know you as a friend. I know you as a brother. All that stuff. But the core of you and what you do professionally. You are a firefighter with Salt Lake City Fire Department.
I don't know if we can technically say that.
Oh, sorry. You're a city employee.
I don't know if we can say that either.
Oh. You're an employee.
I'm leaning into the microphone. Let's just say that I work as a firefighter.
Okay. All right. Well, was that always the... Thank you for clarifying that. Hey, wait, before we go any further, look at this one. Look down.
That's my boy. That's my son.
We'll get to that in just a second. What's up, Bryson? We'll talk about you in a little bit, brother. But I do want to somewhat get serious, because I do respect the hell out of you, man, for what you do and all your brothers and the firefighting world as a career. Was that always the dream? How did you get into that?
Yeah, that was always my dream. Those people, I don't know how many people are on here that knew me when I was younger, but they'll be the first to tell you that was all I ever wanted to do. And it's pretty cool being able to live your dream. You would have asked me as a kid or even a young adult before I got on the fire department, hey, what's your goals in life? The first words out of my mouth were, hey, I want to drive the big red fire engine. And that's what it was. That was my goal in life. Some people strive to be billionaires. Other people strive to, own companies. Nah. I just want to drive the big red fire engine and make lots of noise. It came true. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I will tell you, it wasn't without adversity, though. So not many people know this, and this might answer your question later on down the road. Not many people know that I had to go through recruit school twice. So I got hired back in 2000, went through 7 weeks of recruit school, and because I am way too smart up in this region, that's not true either, they let me go. So I had to go through the whole testing process again. And for those of you who know what the testing process involves, it's pretty intense process. So I had to wait 2 years, retest, go through the whole process again, and luckily for me, I got hired on. And so from 2000, when I first got hired on, let go, and then I got hired back on in 2003.
No, mad respect to you, man. I
18
literally.
years. Yeah,
What's that?
18 years I've been on the fire department.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dream
and
come
I've
true. Dream come true.
I put a toe into your world, not the fire world, but the EMS world. But I respect that out of you guys, man. Thank you for your service, obviously. So,
Yeah, no,
I do want to go ahead.
I'm going to tell you right now that this camera angle makes my arms look huge, bro. Look at
There's
that.
a couple people that have commented on that.
Damn.
But you dressed up. I don't know if you can see Nick Chen's little response.
I
That
did
you
see
remember?
that.
Yeah, you remember Nick from my wedding, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I do.
That's
That's awesome.
I want to give some props to Nick. I know this is all about you, but I gotta give props to Nick. Nick is the kind. I've known Nick. Gosh, Nick, we're pushing 30 years, brother. I knew Nick growing up in Taipei, which is scary to even think I've known anybody that long. But Nick Chen, man, Nick's the kind of guy, and those of you that are watching that know Nick, and there are a handful of you on here, believe it or not. If you have a problem with Nick, there's something wrong with you. He's that guy. He's that guy. He's the best person I've ever met in my life. Wholesome. Anyway, all right.
I almost just shot my water out my nose right there.
Now on the other side, hey, your sister's saying hi to people. We're gonna get going with the questions. Fred likes your stash. You're doing well, man. Oh, here we go. Who's this?
That's my daughter. That's my youngest.
Yeah, you're famous. You're famous. But yeah, firefighting. Can you even imagine? I mean, here's what I think is cool. I mean, that I admire people like you. My buddy Tim's that way too, and he always wanted to be a pilot, became a pilot. You always want to be a fireman, became a fireman. That doesn't happen as much as you think it does, man. People kind of just fall into careers and they stick with it. I mean, some good, some bad, whatever. But I've always had an admiration. My brother's the same way. He's an artist, and he's made himself, a big wig in the art world. So my tip the hat, your hat, that actually you got me, and this hat has been to more countries than you have, by the way.
That's rude.
But this has been to Vietnam and China, obviously, and Hong Kong and Taipei and Taiwan.
Let me guess. My invite for those is in the mail.
Yeah. Well, you came about 6 months too late to get to go to those trips. So
it is what it is, my friend. I got you.
Yeah. Never say never. We'll get back there. We'll get back there. But could you ever even see yourself doing anything else? Because I do want to stress that I want to give some props to you and your brotherhood of boys in the DFD. So can you even remotely think about doing something else?
I'd be pretty hard pressed to think about doing anything else. I did a lot of jobs prior to getting on the department, and a wide range of jobs. And I quickly learned that I was not fit for desk jobs.
Yeah.
I quickly learned that sitting at a desk for 8 hours in front of a computer was not my gig. I have the attention span of a 6-year-old. So if it's not drawn in crayon, then I have a hard time understanding it. No, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. That's why after the first time they let me go, I worked so hard to get back, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And that's basically, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. Well, other than working for Disney, but other than that, no.
No, that's even more admirable, man. The fact that strike one, right? We'll use a baseball analogy. Strike one. Yeah. You came, you basically were showing the way to the dugout, but you came back and you battled back, and look at that, man. You made it. So that's pretty impressive.
That might have even set me down to AAA a little bit. That was a hard pill to swallow, man, because we had just moved from Vegas, because we were living in Vegas at the time. We just moved from Vegas up to here 2 weeks before the recruit school started. So I had nothing here. I was living in the basement of my mom's apartment with my then wife, my ex-wife, and Shannon, my daughter. And then we had just barely had my next daughter, Colby. And we're living in my mom's basement. And then to get let go, That was a hard pill to swallow. You want to talk about a reality check? That was a huge reality check for me. That was a big kick in the you know where.
Big toe.
I don't know if my mom or your mom is watching, so I'm watching my mouth really bad.
Let's go ahead and say both are, because I have a feeling definitely both know about this. So we'll see what happens. So
yes. Does it
it's
say
a family show tonight?
Does it say how many people are watching?
Live right now, there's at least 20, but that's just people that are actually tuning in and actually commenting on stuff. But my guess is I don't like to actually get on Facebook while we're doing this because we get those weird sounds and things like that. But I'm gonna guess there's plenty, man. You're doing just fine. So,
I don't like to be left out.
No, you're doing fine. Everybody. This is probably the most I've ever had of any people chiming in though. Look at this guy.
Thanks for making me feel better.
No, it's all good, but. Yeah.
I know we kind of already talked about a little bit about the fire department, but I'm going to put a plug in right here.
I want you to. Yeah, go for it.
So I will tell you probably one of the most memorable and still going moment in my firefighting career has been being part of our honor guard, the Salt Lake City Fire Department honor guard, if I can say that. Being part of that has it's been amazing. Not only do we do funerals for some of our brothers that have retired, that have passed away, we do a thing every September where we go out to Colorado Springs, and it's called the Fallen Firefighters Memorial, and they have a big deal out there, ceremony for those people that have passed in the line of duty. So the brothers and sisters out there that have passed in the line of duty, and we go out and we represent Salt Lake City Fire and show our gratitude for those individuals and show the honor that the fire department has. And it wasn't until about I think this is my fifth. This will be my 5th year. I didn't get to go last year, obviously, because they didn't have it. But every year I go out, there's a moment in the ceremony that we do on Saturday that I lose it. And it's I don't know, people I've never met, the individuals that's names are getting put up on the wall for the memorial. I've never met these people before, but they hold a place in my heart just because of the brotherhood that we have and the sisterhood that we have. And it's amazing. It is truly amazing. The friends that I've made out there in Colorado Springs, again, from Canada, from the U.S., I've made probably some of the most genuine friends out there just because of who we are and what we stand for. And it's amazing. So, yeah, that's my plug for the Honor Guard. I love it. I love being part of it. I wouldn't give it up. It's amazing. The things that you get to see and do is amazing. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So there's my plug for the Honor Guard. Sorry.
Oh, there's nothing to apologize about. I don't know, Bob, but if you look down, man, yeah, if I came across as saying you're just a fireman, that's not at all what I meant. But you're not just a firefighter, man. Bob's completely right on this. You're definitely Honor Guard, outstanding man.
Bob's my mentor in the Honor Guard. He's a gentleman from Kansas City Fire Department who's retired. He was a battalion chief. He's retired now. He's been retired for a few years. But he is definitely my mentor whenever we go out to Colorado Springs. He is probably the most what's the word involved Honor Guard member that I know. That's not even the right word, but that's the word I'll use because my dictionary is not that good. So
right.
I love that guy. He, like I said, he's my mentor, and anything to do with Honor Guard, if I have questions, anything to do with that guy is the guy that I turn to, and he's kind of taken the fatherhood of my Honor Guard, as that guy. And he's amazing. He's a great guy.
Bob, you've got my respect, man. Thank you.
Love you, Bobby. Love you, Bobby.
Chad, you're not going to believe this, but we're already 30 minutes in, which means we have 30 minutes to get through about 8 more questions, and they're
Hey,
pretty deep.
I'll quit babbing.
No, it's all right. I wanted you to brag about the fire department, your brothers, and all that, and your sisters, and all that stuff. So, no harm, no foul there, man. That you have every right to brag about that,
It's
unconditionally.
been an amazing ride, that's for sure.
Yeah, just getting started, right? Because we're just a bunch of young kids.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, that leads me to my next transition. Then you talked about your, Bob even being a mentor and / quote unquote father to you right now. Let's talk about fatherhood.
Oh boy.
Fatherhood in a sense that what has it taught you? What is? I want you to answer that, and then I'm gonna have a follow-up question for you after that. So what you've been a father for a long time, man. You've got kids ranging from 11 to 22. That's pretty interesting. Now, obviously, it's a blended family. We're going to talk about that, but let's hit home right away. What has fatherhood taught you?
First and foremost, fatherhood has taught me a great deal of patience. You knew me when I was younger, and I would venture to say that my patience level has severely increased. Man, it's taught me so much. It's amazing being a dad. I love it. They teach me more about myself than I have ever learned about myself in 45 years.
Years?
5 years of my life. But it is true. I have been, and I joke about this all the time. I have been a father my entire adult life. So I got married when I was 21, and we had Shannon when I was 22. So
I was still learning how to tie my shoes at 22. Yeah. So yeah.
Conveniently enough, I don't have to anymore. I have kids that do it. So. Yeah, it's taught me so much. I will tell you that I when we decided to have children, I really wanted a boy first. Okay, and this I don't know if I've told many people this. I really wanted a boy, because every dad wants a boy. I'll just be honest. For every dad out there, every dad wants a boy. But I quickly learned that having a girl makes you into a softie, and that does it very rapidly. Might I add? It's not an overtime process. It literally happens when that head pops out the womb. Okay, you become a softie. Okay, so it taught me that my emotions, as far as early fatherhood, it taught me that my emotions needed to be more in check. And like I said, having the kids that I have has been a blessing, each and every one of them.
No, that's awesome, man. I've only known you as a dad, and you're one hell of a dad, man. That's one thing I've always.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's what I admire most about you too. I mean, but the other thing is, life happens, stuff happens. Nobody can predict, the route we take, the road we take, and you ended up not just a dad of 4, but actually a dad of 6, based on a blended family when you met your beautiful bride, Melissa. Talk about that. What's it like to be a part of a blended family?
It's interesting. Let's put it that way. I know how we raised my children, and being put into a stepdad role. Mm-hmm. It's I don't want to say it's harder than being a dad, but it is. It's hard. Here we go.
It's all right, man. We're just getting started because the next question is about our dads, so you might as well just get started. Go ahead.
It's tough. It's tough, man. I love each one of my kids. Even Even my stepkids, I don't call them my stepkids. They're my kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, brother, in my eyes, you've got 6 kids. You know, I've known you a long time.
It's been an adventure just for the simple fact that I am their stepdad.
Yeah.
And I feel an obligation to raise them. But again, I am only their stepdad, and
well, you're not only anything, man. You're doing okay.
I feel like the actual parents need to raise them and give them fatherly advice from that aspect. But I kind of have to take a step back every once in a while and just realize that, you know what, maybe I just need to step back a little bit. So yeah, it's a balancing act. It is truly a balancing act because I want them to love me, and I want them to know. I want them to have advice. I want to be able to give them advice so that they can grow up and be citizens of the United States.
Well, they are. They were both all born here.
But I want them to be productive citizens.
I was trying to ease up on the tears.
Yeah. So, but I want to give them. I want to make them realize how much I love them.
Well, as someone who's known you a long time and knows how you treat those guys, yeah, man, you're doing just fine. So, and I can, even someone who only sees them from here, some every now and then. Trust me, man, you're more than just a stepdad. They look at you and your kids, your biological kids have been chiming in throughout this. There's no question in my mind. Your stepkids feel the same way, brother. You're doing okay.
I paid them to do that.
Good allowance. They need it. They need it.
Let me tell you, it doesn't get any cheaper the older they get.
No, it's all good. Well, I'm gonna pick on the emotions because one thing you and I share, and I'm gonna do everything I can to get not emotional. You and I both had our dads. I'm just gonna shoot it straight. Our dads died. Doesn't matter how old we are. Doesn't matter. But you and I both have that in common. Unfortunately, we lost our pops. If you don't mind, I was gonna say, get emotional, tearjerker time, whatever. But I want you to brag about your pops for a while, and your mom too. But I know your mom, great lady.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
my mom is gonna outlive me.
Oh yeah, mine too. Trust me on that one. Mom, she's watching, by the way. My mom's chimed in a few times.
I did see
yeah,
that.
She's
my
definitely
mom's
watching.
This little 4 foot something German lady that I'm pretty sure will outlive me. She's just determined to live. So I'm like, I hope that carries on.
She don't laugh. Trust me, they probably will. But let's you've got it. I don't. We're already, man. We're running short on time, and I don't want to do that. We have about 22 minutes left, but. Talk about your dad and the influence he was, man, because I never met him, but the stories I've heard from you, what a guy.
Yeah, so my dad died back in 2000. So he died when I was still in my 20s, my later 20s. So my dad was my hero, man. That's the easiest way to put it. He was my hero.
Yeah.
It's been 21 years now since he passed away, and I still can't talk about him without crying. It's just
all right. It's all right.
We had me and him had a special bond. I was obviously with sports. My dad played ball growing up and was pretty good at it. Obviously baseball was my thing, and so we shared that special bond together. But it just wasn't that. That dude, he could do no wrong in my eyes. That guy was amazing. I don't know how to sum it up other than that. Is that dude is my hero.
Well, I'm gonna if you don't mind letting me take the lead here, man. I'm gonna sum him up. I never met him, but I can sum him up because I know you, right? I'm gonna guess, just like my dad, you two are very similar, and my dad and I were very similar. And I want everybody watching to know this, and this is where I get to kind of brag about you, my friend. Um, it's almost been 10 years, which is insane to think that my dad died. And this isn't about me, but I want to make sure people that are watching this understand. It sucks, right? It doesn't matter what age. I know my Geisler was on this earlier too, and you know our buddy Geisler. He went through it a couple of years ago too, and there's no way around it. It sucks. People, you can sugarcoat it, you can whatever you want to do with it, but it doesn't matter what age you are. When a guy loses his dad, it sucks. But I will say this about our friendship, man. I know life is tricky right now. I know you and I don't see as much of each other as we used to. I had to up and move to China. Sorry. Sorry about that. Selfish. But even though I've been back a few years, man, the one thing that I will take to my grave is that when I needed a sincere out, a sincere venting, whatever, unconditionally, you were there, man. And it's funny because I'm watching these comments come through left and right, and even I don't know who John is. I have no idea who he is. You do.
We served in the same mission together. Yes, I checked.
Oh, wow. Well, if we have time, we'll come back to that. But I do want to get this point across, man. This is all sincere. My dad was dying, and I mean, I could reach out, and there were definitely people who I don't want to say that like you were the other one, but there were definitely people writing left and right, checking in on him. But you were there for me, brother. And I think there's a pattern here going on. I've never forgotten that. Till my, dying days, man, I'll always know that, you were there and just let me vent. You were there and just let me talk. And I love you for that always. Your dad, is proud of you. I hope you know that. It's not me just feeding you smoke here. It's you're doing okay. And if anything, I can never thank you enough. I don't even know if I ever thanked you just because of the moment and all that stuff. But I can tell you wholeheartedly, that meant a lot to me, and it still does. 10 years later. So, your dad.
I was just grateful I had the opportunity, man.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, this is grown men getting a little emotional, but I don't care. That's what But no, the fact that you went through it and you understood it, I think that made me relax a little bit more. And it's tough, man. It sucks, especially as guys. We're raised sometimes to just be, the wall's put up, the mask is put on, and we're supposed to just not show emotions and all that. But there's certain things in life that you never forget, and the fact that you were there, brother, I'll never forget that. And obviously, I'm not the only one, so I hope you can read these messages, man. So thank you for doing what you did.
I was grateful I had the opportunity. I was grateful I had the opportunity to come up and see him in the hospital before he passed away.
Exactly.
I'd only met your dad probably 2 or 3 times prior to that.
Right.
If that, I'm pretty sure it was a couple times. But having the opportunity to come up and be with you and be with him in the hospital, that meant a lot to me. And
good. I'll never forget that, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. We'll move on here. We'll try to get through these emotional. This isn't what the show is about, but hey, I just any chance I get to thank you, man. You know that I love you for that. So and I always will. So anyway, we good? Tearjerker moments. Should we turn the page? Are we good to go?
Let's flip it.
Because there are more questions. And cut. No.
And scene.
And scene. Yeah, we're good. No, man, but I can truly say this, and your sisters are chiming in, and your sisters chiming in. Even Lisa is chiming in. Look at that big old heart there, man. She gets it. Truly, though, from the bottom of my heart, from my family, all that, my mom, my brother, everybody who went through that experience with me, you're a good man, and I love you for that. So just so you know. Okay. All right, let's move on before I start getting emotional.
Maybe that's why the Lord took him so early. Is that way I could prepare myself to help others through their time of need.
That's fine, man. I know I'm not the only one. Let's put it that way. I know.
It's been 20 years since he's passed away, and like I said, I still can't talk about him without, even now, just in the last sentence, I can't talk about him without. That's how much he meant to me.
Yeah, well, You're doing right, man. He raised a good one.
Dude.
So
He was a good dude. I love him. I miss him every day.
Absolutely.
Anyway, moving on before I start crying again.
Yeah. Because now I'm trying to fight. There's a lump in the throat right here, but I'm gonna move on. We're gonna progress here.
Bow tie's getting super tight on my throat. Let's move on.
Well, we'll move on to some funny now, because the people that have chimed in, I think they've been begging for this question. If they read your bio, well, first off, if they know you, they'll totally understand where this is going. But if they read their bio, self-proclaimed international entertainer. Do tell.
I gotta be honest. So the bio that I wrote for you didn't have the self-proclaimed bit in there.
Well, no, it did too. It did too.
The bio that my publicist or / wife wrote had self-proclaimed. In my defense, I'm going to defend myself wholeheartedly right now. This individual that appears
By the
on
way,
your
we have 14 minutes, just so you know.
Is a international entertainer. I have not only rocked the microphone or said dance floor in Toronto, Canada at the Hockey Hall of Fame. I have you. Yes. I have rocked the House of Blues in Chicago. I'm not name dropping here. I'm just throwing out facts.
Before you answer that, look down. Not only Jason Geyser's watching, Sarah Geyser's watching, and
Sarah?
the boy wonder, Austin, is watching.
That's awesome.
Go ahead.
I have rocked Columbus, Ohio, in their venue there. But I will take us back a little bit, Ben.
Okay.
You and I.
13 minutes. 13 minutes.
You and I were part of a boy band together.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Were we not?
And McKinnon Estrada, but yeah, who's counting?
And McKinnon Estrada, correct. I'll have you know, me, Ben, and McKinnon Estrada are the Boise, Idaho Gay Pride Karaoke champions. Beat it.
Keep talking. You got to tell the rest of that story. Sorry.
Champions. So it was.
But you have a minute to do it. Hurry.
Okay, this was my post-wedding bachelor party. So after I got married, we went to Boise, Idaho. These guys were telling me about a bar there that was so cool, so amazing. So I'm like, let's do it. We go into this bar, and there is rainbow balloons everywhere. A whole bunch of people dressed in drag. Okay. And at first I thought it was a joke because they were telling me how cool this place was. And I was like, not that it's not cool, but I'm like, are we at the right bar? Anyways, short story long, as Ben likes me to say. Short story long, they had a karaoke competition going, and there were really professional singers in this competition. And we might have had a couple cocktails.
One, maybe two. We weren't driving though.
So I look at Ben and Mac, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this." So, and they were like, "Well, what are we gonna sing?" And I was like, "Let me do the talking. I got it. So we go up to the DJ, and she says, "What do you guys want to sing?" And I says, "Are you guys with me?" And they says, "Yeah, let's do it." I look at the DJ without a stutter. I said, "Boys to Men, I'll make love to you." That's right. And you know what? Nailed it. Totally unrehearsed, totally anything, nothing. It was spur of the moment. We got 3 encores. Hold on. 3 encores.
I'm crying right now, man.
Song selection.
All about it.
Know your crowd.
We won.
Yeah.
And
won the champion.
Well, we won it, and then they asked us to come back the next day, and we had to leave.
Yeah,
remember that we were supposed to go to some like parade or something like that.
Yeah. So whatever. National.
Yeah, no big deal.
Internationally known.
Well, I'm gonna guess that you can you need a business card.
How much time do I have? Can I tell the Hockey Hall of Fame story real quick?
Hurry, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so we end up going to, my wife has a convention. It's called ASAE. I don't know if I can say that without giving some kind of disclaimer.
There's another disclaimer right there.
We
These are all your own opinions.
So the second year we go to this is up in Toronto, Canada. In Toronto, Canada, each company or some certain companies have after-hours parties. One company was at the Hockey Hall of Fame. I really wanted to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Had no idea what was going on, right? So we go in the Hockey Hall of Fame, we'll mingle around, have a couple drinks.
2.
You'll notice that there is a common occurrence. So after I got done making out with the Stanley Cup upstairs,
I was going to say, I don't know where this is going. Hold on.
I come back down to an empty dance floor, and this DJ, he's trying to rock out, right? And I says, hey, bro. I was like, if you want to get this floor rocking, I'm going to tell you 3 songs to play. If you play these 3 songs, this dance floor will be packed by the end of the night. And he looked at me like, dude, you might have had a couple too many, right? I says 3 songs. That's all I ask, bro. If after the 3 songs, if you don't agree with me, I'll walk off the floor. So I told him the 3 songs. Okay, first one, Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. Okay, that's my go-to. That's my jam, bro. That's my jam. Okay, next one, and I brought up for the homies, Vanilla Ice. Okay,
of course you did.
Just because I know all the words to that one, you know. That's right. So, and then the third one, believe it or not, nobody ever asked to play this, was the Electric Slide. God is my witness.
Yeah.
The dance floor was packed. Everybody thought me and the DJ worked together. That I was the hype man for the DJ.
Of course.
Just saying, Toronto, Canada, Hockey Hall of Fame. This guy. I don't like to toot my own horn. Moving on.
So what you're saying is you're pretty big in Canada.
Hey.
All right.
It's true. Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate your honesty. We have 8 minutes and we have 4 questions.
Yes.
I told myself I wasn't going to ask this, but I have to.
Okay.
And you already know what's coming.
Yeah,
it takes everything in me to ask this question because I don't get it. I probably never will. What the hell is a grown man doing loving Disney as much as you do?
I grew up with it, dude. My family growing up, my dad worked for the airlines. So we used to go to Disney all the time, and I grew up with it. I don't know, from a grown man's point of view, I think I do it because, well, you saw kind of how it works. It's when I get there, I'm not an adult anymore.
That's awesome.
I turn into that little kid. Nothing in the outside world, outside the fences of Disney exists anymore. I get to be whoever I want to be. Whether it's dressing up as Buzz Lightyear, which I do regularly when I go to the parks, to just, I don't know, it's just something about it that I get to be whoever I want to be, and none of the big person problems are with me. I just get to forget them. And that's what I love about it. And I love the fact that my kids love it. Not that they have a choice, but they get to love it. So it works out for me. But yeah, I love it. I work part-time for the Disney store at City Creek Mall. I love it. That's how much I love it. I have a lot of useless Disney knowledge in this brain of mine. Nothing that will ever serve me any purpose in life other than if I ever get in the Disney trivia game will work any benefits to me. None.
That makes a lot more sense. And I'll give you a little tap of the cap right there.
Oh, appreciate it.
No, play like a champion, buddy. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Nicole wants to know, ask how many outfit changes he does at the park.
That depends. It depends on what park we're in. It depends on what day of the week it is. And it depends on how many beverages I might have drank before going.
I love it. We've got 5 minutes, and somebody asked me why the time limit. Here's why. I used to just let these go, but we also do a podcast, and I take the audio from this and I put it on the podcast for those people that miss. It only allows you.
You're wasting my time, man.
Sorry, I'll hurry. It only allows you an hour. There, hence the time limit. So back to Chad. The important, the talent here. Let's put it that way. The talent here. Chad, we got 4 questions, brother.
Okay.
Thank you for answering the Disney thing. I still don't
Yeah.
get it, but it's okay. It's cool. It's all good. It's all good.
Happens.
We're gonna skip over the getting older and powerful friendship question because you and I both teared up a little bit, and I think that just
we
summed
shared
up
a
everything.
moment. We shared a
We're
moment.
okay. We're okay. Let's talk bucket list, brother. We I can't believe this. You and I both will never admit it, but we're in our 40s. You know, most people would say that that's midlife.
What?
I know. Yeah. Go figure.
Midlife.
What's on the bucket list, brother? What's there left to still do before you check out here?
This wraps along with the last question you just asked me. I want to have a stamp in all of my books that I've been to every Disney park.
You're doing well, I would think, right?
There's 3 left, but yeah, the Shanghai one was a big notch. It was.
Glad I could help. Glad I could help.
Yeah, and so I think that's a big bucket list. As far as a real, as you would say, a real bucket list.
That's a real bucket list. I'm cool.
Well, no, let's be honest. You're just hanging with me. Whatever. You're just indulging me right now. That's what's happening.
We have 4 minutes. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Real time bucket list. I would love to go back to Asia.
Yeah.
We
got to get you to the wall. My wife too. She says the same thing. She came to see me in Shanghai just like you did, but we didn't really explore.
2 weeks after I was there.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
I can't get my wife on a plane for longer than 5 hours, and 5 hours is from here to Florida, and that's all I can get. I can't get her on a flight for 13.
You know, we can talk to Mac about that. And Mac, if you're watching, if you do listen, watch, whatever, he'll understand what I'm saying because Mac had an hour flight to Vegas and he was able to sleep.
That's so true.
The whole way through. Chad, you know what I'm talking about.
This podcast is not long enough. People are not going to appreciate our Vegas trips, San Diego.
Well, here's the beauty. I can always have you back on. Okay?
I'm going to have to check my schedule. Pencil you in for now.
I'll check your manager. I'll call Melissa.
Yeah, I'll call my publicist. See what.
Yeah, I will. Which leads me to the last 3 questions that I ask everybody. These are kind of the rapid fire, boom, boom, boom.
Sure.
Let's talk about this. This is a good one because I'm intrigued by this. What's something? You're a pretty open book, but I still think there's something in you that even I don't know. What is something that most people don't know about you?
Again, me and Melissa talked about this today, and I said the exact same thing you said. I was like, I don't know if I have anything. I'm pretty open booked about everything. And so literally I've been thinking about this for a long time, man. And she told me I couldn't say on here that I do kind of have a love for Broadway plays. As a thespian myself.
A what?
Thespian.
Gotcha. I just had to hear it. Yeah.
TH.
Okay.
Thespian.
Okay.
But man, I don't know. That's the way I live my life, man. I don't like to keep secrets. I like to be out in the open. I like people to know me for who I am. So I'm a pretty open book. I don't know. Other than not many people know that I was Pharaoh in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor co-production. But that was just a small time role. That was, I mean, it is what it is, right?
We'll go with that.
You got to start somewhere. That was my foot in the door.
That's right. That was the starter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there is anything that.
You're pretty open book.
Other than you kind of already saw, I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeve at all times.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not many people have ever seen me cry before, but.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Got you today, so surprise! You're welcome.
Well, here, let's see if we can get those tears flowing again. What's if you could have a chat, sit down on a park bench somewhere just for an hour. Somebody gave you an hour to talk to anybody, with us still, not with us still, whatever. Who would that be? Who would you have a chat with?
So when I thought about this question, I obviously the first thing that comes to my mind, I would love the opportunity to chat with my dad. I never got to tell my dad goodbye and that I love him.
By the way, you have 1 minute not to be a.
That was my first thought process, but then I'm thinking, man, if I only have an hour with my dad, that would be my ultimate answer is with my dad. We'll just go with that. Okay. I'll leave out the other part. Yep, my dad.
I love it. Well, you already answered my next question. I think it's Asia. Listen, brother, we're at the hour mark. I could talk to you forever. You know that. I miss you. I love you. You're right down the street. This COVID thing sucks, but we'll see each other soon, and I'll have you back, man, because I can already tell more people want to hear more stories, man. You are the brother. You are the man. Thank you so much. I can never repay you for what you did for me when speaking of dads. Just know I love you. Thank you for doing this,
I love
brother.
you, brother. Love you,
Stick
man.
around.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Hopefully your ratings don't go down.
I think they've gone up, man. It's all good. It's all good. But stick around. You and I'll chat right after. Those of you that are watching, thank you so much. We'll be back next week. But please make sure you subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel and the BenThere podcast channel. There is one. But anyway, thank you for watching. This has been a blast. Until next time, everybody. Chad Camp, thank you, brother. We'll talk to y'all later.